Jambo fellow adventurer, I'm Mike Dooley, and for the past 17 years I've been writing, speaking, and teaching on the nature of reality, with an emphasis on living deliberately and creating consciously. In this video, I'm going to tell you how to perform miracles, knowing you're making progress, doing the right things, and on the right path. If you are where I was 17 years ago, wanting massive transformation, seemingly facing insurmountable odds, without even a tunnel to look for a light in, when it seemed like nothing you do might be good enough, come on, you dream of champagne and caviar, yet maybe you now go to a job you hate. I get it. You end up thinking, there's something wrong with you. Stop. You're torturing yourself. You're using your physical senses to judge where and who you are and how to move forward. Die to the illusions that now surround you. They lie. You have what it takes, and that you even dream means they can be achieved. The key lies in understanding the truth about performing so-called miracles and therefore knowing how to orchestrate mind-blowing comebacks. It boils down to one word: faith. Through understanding, not blind faith. Understanding the miraculous mechanics behind all manifestations through which you will grasp that you already perform them. Yet they're rarely, if ever, apparent until long after they've happened. You've probably heard me share my GPS analogy that parallels the miraculous mechanics of every manifestation. If not, in a nutshell, what's the first thing that has to happen in order for you to have a new adventure in your car to a destination you've never been to in your life? Synonymous or parallel to having a dream that you now yearn for that hasn't ever come true, so it's totally unfamiliar territory. What's the first thing that has to happen in that adventure for you to get going? You have to program the gizmo with the destination, the end result. You don't tell it how to get there, you don't know. And the same is true in life. All adventures into transformation begin with the end. What is it you really want? And then, in your car, step 2. What is it? Now, it could be many things. So let's just say the car's running, your seatbelt is on, and Barry Manilow is blasting Mandy. Yeah, I hope not, but okay. The second thing that has to happen is you have to put your car in gear. If your car's not in gear, you're contradicting yourself. You're saying, I want to go there, but not yet. I'm waiting for my ducks to line up. And it won't matter if there's a vision board in the back seat. The system was designed by geniuses to not help you until your car is in gear and you are rolling. Then and only then, guidance is forthcoming. You can't even go in the wrong direction. Make a legal U-turn, which is guidance that does not come when your car's in park. The third parallel is equally uncanny. Let's just say you're going to a new best friend's home for tea on a 3-hour drive to a town you have never been to your entire life. At what point will you understand that every left and right-hand turn you took was spot on, perfect, a miracle? Not until the final seconds, which is terrifying, because that means 2 hours and 59 minutes into the journey, everything looks weird, and you're at risk of using your physical senses to judge your progress or seeming lack thereof. You might draw the bogus conclusion that it's not working for you because you have invisible, limiting, self-sabotaging beliefs and think that you better go home and watch The Secret 30 more days in a row. All the while, it was working for you. The entire path you tread was filled and lined with miracles that were invisible because the journey hadn't yet played out. The point here in life, just because you can't see the miracles doesn't mean they're not happening. They are. You're caked in them. Understanding is the basis of all of my work. Yet I had to prove it, live it for myself to properly share it. Here is a story from my life where a big miracle transpired. I already told you 17 years ago I was praying on my knees at the side of the bed to God for help, that I stumbled into general end results. I dreamed of details without attaching to them, and I got busy not messing with the cursed house. And at first, it seemed like nothing changed. I even remember whining to my mother, probably driving home from an unappreciative Rotary Club talk, hitting her house on the way to mine, and bumming a few cigarettes, while declaring, "When is my life going to take off? I'm sick of this. Where's the magic?" I was sending out free emails, building the Tut.com website where nothing I tried worked. Online shopping bombed. Affiliate marketing bombed. Writing an audio program that was like climbing Mount Everest. It was to be 12 hours long. I was truly embarrassed to be me. I remember working out of my home at the time, being afraid that a neighbor might see me Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, because they might ask me what happened to my t-shirt company, what happened to my life, what's going on with Mike Dooley. It was truly awful. Yet I was keeping busy. I was preoccupied, and I wasn't therefore able to see how each of my activities was building upon the other. My audience sizes, for example, grew from an average of 2 people to an average of 50. I even had a few overseas gigs, and when those dried up, I kept touring by inviting myself to cities. The audio program was finally done, and nice reviews were coming in. And then I got a phone call that would change my life. I was invited by 2 Notes from the Universe fans from Australia to be in a documentary that would be called The Secret. I was like, "What's the secret?" And they're like, "It's the law of attraction." I was like, "Oh, okay." Believe me, I had no idea of what it would turn into, nor did I know a single other person in the film. There was no scripts for any of us. I just knew my little contribution, and I did it for free. So something huge, I can see in hindsight, was afoot. Did I know it? No way. Still, feeling that nothing was happening in my life, I took on one of 2 coaching clients in my entire life. And this guy was in dire straits. And at some point in the call, he said, "When is my life going to take off? I'm sick of this. Where's the magic?" Words that sounded very, very familiar to me. But I couldn't place them at first until I realized they had been mine. But at that point, I had to ask myself when, because things were moving along enough that I wasn't bad-mouthing it. Things were better, much, much better, and I gasped. It was almost scary. When I wasn't looking, the miracles were piling up. It was as if in those evenings on my knees, praying to God above, giving her general end results, that I followed up with details, visualizing that I didn't insist upon, and baby steps where I diversified. The universe was like, "I know exactly how to do this. You need to get some content together, build up your database, develop a shopping cart system to take credit cards." All the things I had done that were failures to my eyes, to the physical senses at the time that I did them, were the building blocks for what was now happening in my life. Everything was lining up. And the scariest part about this was, there was no night when I went to bed and my life sucked. And the next morning, "Oh man, I totally made it. I'm on the yellow brick road." There is no day that you cross some visible tipping point. There is only a very slow, gradual metamorphosis. As you take a step, the universe takes 10,000 invisible steps. You don't notice the change, but you keep taking them 10,000 more, 10,000 more. And there's this slow metamorphosis, and you're still of the mindset that this is hard work, this is sucky, it's not working, when in fact it's working, and your inevitable success is just around the corner, guaranteed, so long as you keep showing up, even though you think it's not working. Do you see how vulnerable we all are at quitting, even though the ship of our dreams was just a breath away? On top of that, a year later, The Secret was released, and it just blew up. My profile went sky high. Now, I don't know what day Rhonda and Glenda signed up for Notes from the Universe, but I would almost guarantee that it was a day during which I did some bad-mouthing of my life, probably to my mother, with a cigarette in my hand. Things didn't look good, but it was the biggest day of miracles of my entire life. Can you imagine what a mistake it would have been if I had kind of just phased out and said, this is not who I am. I've never liked speaking. I'm terrified. Can you imagine if I had quit? Can you imagine if I had turned down the free interview request to be on an unknown documentary? We wouldn't be having this conversation. You're that close right now. Persistence and not drawing false conclusions with your physical senses that nothing is happening is your ticket to performing miracles. There are probably already miracles you've performed in your life with regard to dreams you now are yearning for that just haven't become apparent yet. And then, if I may, another miracle-ish thing happened. Back when nothing was working, Mom and I, Andy included, my little brother, used to have mastermind weekly meetings where we would try to inspire one another, even though nothing seemed to be working, particularly in my life. And I would launch into, hey, I want this to happen, I want that to happen. Oh, I heard from Steven Spielberg the other day. And I'd start making stuff up, but speaking as if it was true. And I would launch into something like, I just heard from my contractor in Hawaii, and my custom home on the windward side of Oahu, it's going to be finished in 2 months. And he tells me that the waterfall through the master bedroom is to die for. And I would talk with a straight face like this was really happening, and I would talk about their dreams in the past tense, like, how was it in Kathmandu, Andy? And how was it in Hollywood, Mom? As if their dreams had already come true, and we would take turns. The universe once said in a note, playing make-believe is the fastest way to believing. And believing is the fastest way to receiving. So long as you have general end results, you're getting into the details without attaching, and not messing with a cursed house. Well, fast forward to after The Secret came out, and then it became a book, not just a DVD. And my bio, along with all the other contributors, was in the back. I get a phone call from the family assistant to the Hopkins, telling me that Stella has just read The Secret along with Anthony. They absolutely loved it. They read the bio in the back where I had said that previously in my other incarnation I sold 1 million t-shirts. And Stella would like to have a word with me. Do I have time? I had time. So I'm talking with Stella Hopkins, who tells me what I already knew. Anthony Hopkins, Sir Anthony Hopkins, is truly the Renaissance man. Not just an actor, but he's a composer, he's an artist, and he's a doodler in the backlot between film takes. And he has this huge collection that she wants to put onto t-shirts. Mike, do you still have contacts in Japan? Yeah, I do. They're great friends of mine. She put me on hold. I could hear the Charlie Brown, wah, 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 Mike Dooley, wah, 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 Secret, wah, 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 t-shirts. Mike, Anthony would love to meet you. Next time you're in LA, you're invited to our home for dinner. Oh my God, I had to call somebody right away. And who else but my little brother, Andy. Andy, you will never believe who's just called me and invited me to their home for dinner. Hannibal Lecter. He was like, what? He was like really annoyed. I'm like, I told him the whole story, and then he thinks I'm pretending. He thinks I'm playing make-believe, and he's like, oh, that is so cool, Mike. What are you doing? You're late. You're late for my barbecue. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? He said, you better hurry up. Jay-Z and Beyonce just showed up. Click. This stuff works. You are a divine gladiator, a tidal wave of love and joy who chose this lifetime to blow the lid off of it. If you've got a dream, it's meant to come true. You can do it. Your thoughts become things, and you are truly being pushed on to greatness every single day. Fellow adventurer, The solution to performing miracles lies in understanding that just because you can't see them doesn't mean they aren't happening. Have faith. Only in hindsight do they appear. Which means as long as you're moving with general end results, giving latitude and leeway to divine intelligence, and you aren't attaching and insisting to details and hows, you're already performing miracles, and your tipping points have already been reached. For those of you who want more, I have a brand new matrix-based, laser-focused series that includes how to spark transformation in your life with regard to these general areas: wealth and abundance, livelihood, health and healing, romantic relationships, losing weight and looking great, and of course, happiness. In every one of them, I've shared over 100 real-world examples of how to generally define your end results, get into the details without attaching, and how to take baby steps without messing with the cursed hows. Don't miss your chance to register for these courses. I've taught the Matrix now for over 10 years to 100,000 people in 132 cities within 34 countries upon 6 continents. And some have said their time spent with me amounted to the best day of their life so far. You deserve all that your heart longs for. Let me show you how to get it. And until we meet again, remember, thoughts become things, and you are adored.